What's up, guys? So, we'll do another guide real quick. This one is going to be about the Infighther. I have some friends that are going to be playing that class on NA, and I don't know. I wanted to check it out myself, and then so I played a little bit. I don't have that much knowledge into it. I understand a little bit of the basic combos. There's some advanced combos. I feel like this class, in the contrary to the Berserker that I just did earlier, is a little bit harder to master. But once you do, man, this class does so much damage. It's amazing. For stat points, I went ahead and put 1,000 on agility, 249 on subdue, and then 1 on critical. Be mindful that even though right here is in English, this is a translation. I know that someone on the NA side actually ended up changing the name, so I know subdue was a different name and so on and so on. But just have an idea, match eye to eye, like picture by picture, and you should be fine. The skills, so right off the bat, I go with Advancing Strike. I put 7 points into it. I get Outstanding Mobility and Tenacity. This is going to be one of your gap closers, also Initiator for combos. So getting that extra distance and not being knocked out when you're trying to push to. I'm sorry, not being knocked back. It's really good for you. Follow on, Dragon's Descent is also a really good gap closer. This one you kind of jump in the air. That's where you have Outstanding Mobility and Tenacity as well. Instant Hit, this is going to be your stun gap closer skill as well. Get Wide Attack, Precision, and Chasing Instinct. Some people like to do Fear Strikes. I prefer to use Fear Strikes myself as well. But a lot of people that I've seen on YouTube is they like to use Shattering Earthquake as their last, I guess we're going to call it yellow skill. And it's optional. I mean, for 1v1, I feel like it depends on your play style. For 3v3, I prefer the Fear Strike. I can hit a little bit more, but it can also set me in a position where I can get hit. So, again, it's your choice. I go for Outstanding Mobility to get that step in case they try to run away. More damage against a single target, and then Enraged. That just allows me to do a lot more damage into the enemy. Sweeping Strike, 10 points as well. I get Single Attack to increase the damage 25%. Assessment, and that's just, it's to give me that dash when I'm about to throw a punch. And then Reinforced Attack, basically, and I'll show you guys in a second how the skill looks. It allows this skill to become a range attack, and it's really good to catch, especially for people that are trying to run away, to stagger them so you can close that gap. That sentence, this is your bread and butter. This is one of the biggest damage skills, the way it works. Put Mind Vision in it so the skill comes out faster. Single Attack to increase the damage against that target. And then this is where it is. The way Infighther works is the more you use these yellow skills, it uses your yellow bar, but actually you gain green bar. And that green bar, on this skill alone, it will increase the damage by how much you have it. So if you're 80% and above, you're going to be doing 120% damage with your death sentence. And if you crit, it's also math. It's not even 80%, I'm sorry, 76%. And your damage increase by 60%. Fissile Destruction, really, really good skill to use. It's an AoE skill as well. Amazing to catch enemies, especially 3v3 PvP. And then the last one is your True Art Eruption. I'll go ahead and put Thunder Fist, Air Strike, and Dragon's Fury on it. Let me just go ahead and show you guys the skills. Let me close this. We don't need that. So right off, firstly, you got your first skill, which was Advancing Strike, and it's just a gap closer. Actually, pretty big of a gap closer. You can probably from here, and then the enemy gets staggered. Your next one is Dragon's Descent. Big jump. Knocks them down as well. Follow on is you have your Instant Hit. It's a smaller gap closer, but if you hit, you also stun the enemy. Fury Strikes. Finish by pushing them back just slightly. So you have to be cognitive on this right here, especially if you're trying to combo with this with that sentence. If the person moves by just slightly, you will not hit them right there. Next, we have your Sweeping Strike. and that's that big punch right on the enemy's face. We'll show it one more time. You can go from far, and then he staggers them as well. That sentence, and that's the bread and butter skill. You see how he did 101,000 damage. And I'll show you guys again just so you have an idea. So charged up is 50,000. Go ahead and use a little bit of the green. There you go. And then when it's not fully charged, the damage lowers slightly. Not that much. I mean, it's 48,000. It's still pretty big. Again, the only problem is it's a very small area where you have to hit the enemy. So make sure you use this skill when the enemy is either down or he's stunned. Next one we have is Fissile Destruction. The AoE gets bigger, big damage at the end. If you're able to keep the enemy staggered the whole time, really, really good skill to use. And then your last one, also lots of damage, and that's going to be your Eruption. And if you hold it and you follow through, you also damages the enemy as well. Just go a couple combos that I've known so far. In this class, for basic, we're not going to try to include auto attacks in between. But that's something you want to work on, because auto attacks also stagger the enemy, and if you stagger them once, you can hit it one quick one, so almost like gap closer followed by an auto attack, and that can keep them staggered, which is really good. So just keep that in mind when you start working on your combos. But so super basic, we're gonna go with Advancing Strike followed by Instant Hit, and then we're gonna do Death Sentence. Completely missed. We're not even going to talk about that. Let me show you guys one more time. So again, Advancing Strike, followed by, and that, again, just very basic. You're burning through your points, burning through your energy. It also allows the enemy to, you can bait their escape, which is when you press spacebar when you're down and you press spacebar, you kind of like dash away. Another good combo to have too, in case you don't have a lot of green bar, what you can do, again, Advancing Strike followed by the stun and then Eruption. That it's really good damage to do. It also, because of the shock that it gives and the follow on, it knocks the enemy down and you can do some more damage to it. Another very basic would be the same Advancing Strike followed by Stun and then Furious Strikes. That puts them in that still stunned state that you can, if you desire, proceed that combo. If you have more cooldowns, again, right after you do the Furious Strikes, you can go with an Eruption right after. But this is more, in my opinion, with an idea what's going on with your buffs and points and so on. And that's a really good combo to do on the enemy, especially. Does a lot of damage, puts them off guard, pushes their escape away. Another combo that you can use on this is Advanced Strike followed by Instant Hit and then Fissile Destruction. And then you do another Eruption. That whole time, because of the stun of Instant Hit followed by the knockdown, if you're fast enough, you get the Eruption, they still, even if they have their escape, they will not be able to get out. But that's it. That's some of the combos that I've practiced. As you saw, still work on it. It's not my main class, but I just kind of wanted to show you guys in case you have questions, you wanted to know what it is about. I like it. I think it's one of the top, definitely one of the top 5 classes, especially when mastered. It can do a lot of damage. Thank you guys, and make sure you like.